I come from Taiwan, from the northern peripheral town of Kaohsiung City, where there was a small village near the southwest coast of Taiwan, was called Hsinchuan, and one of its administrative districts called village Wusulin, where I am living. Literally, Hsinchuan means new houses, and Wusulin means bush forest. And look at it from a map produced in 17th and 18th century Kangxi Taiwan map may give us a hint. It is known as the earliest scroll painting of Taiwan, and to look at the area on this ancient map, we can see that the map depicts the area with dense green jungle, and those areas near the sea should be wetlands. The map could verify the ecology of mangroves in that area, specifically overgrown Canterbury obovata. The place was renamed, becoming Baoning Community, Yong'an District. The maps show the status quo. Baoning Community cut off the house facades along the entire road during a widening project of Taiwan 17th Line around the 1980s. Many houses by the road in Baoning have had their fronts rebuilt, so their facades appear different from before. The environmental textures of Yong'an District are similar to other coastal settlements connected by the Taiwan 17th Line. For example, the primary school has a playground that does not grow any grass, and the campus will be flooded and the school closed during typhoon and rainy seasons. After heavy rain, however, when it turns sunny, the gleaming crystal of seawater can be found sparkling on the playground. These dazzling salt crystals are ecstatic treasures for children to explore in their paradise. Teaching activities sometimes take place outside the school at the beautiful sheer sand bay. The images of children chasing the waves become romantic memories of their childhood, etc. Indescribably, when the government ordered an exercise of air defense, the school teachers took children to the mangrove forest on the shore of the fishing yards next to the campus to hide. This is in the memories of people coexisting with my generations. Yong'an is a fishing town. Its landscape appearance has gradually changed over a long period due to the transformation of the mode of fishing production from inner sea fishing and sun salt production into farmed fishing, as well as the establishment of modernized energy industries such as the Xinda thermal power plant and the Yong'an liquefied natural gas plant. The beautiful sand beach, which used to be sprayed with various shells and footprints and memories of mine, is no longer seen. Instead, the coastline currently is filled with tetrapods and is named ironically Diamond Sand Bay. The south part of Provincial Highway No. 17 is known as Coastal Highway, generally referred to as Taiwan 17th Line. In addition to its beautiful natural ecology, it also preserved a Baroque-style building left over from the Japanese occupation, which used to be the office of the colonizers' salt farm. The Taiwan 17th Line connects the seaside scenes of my hometown with people's life stories. The fishing port, the mangrove fishing farms, salt farms, where I played as a kid, left many wonderful memories. The appearance of an implantation of heterogeneous elements of the environment is ubiquitous nowadays, enduringly coexisting with them, spreading a sense that people could have become an integration of a self-familiarity, which is significantly contrasted with an understanding of local knowledge and the sense of collective memory. What I would like to ask here is, when the elements of everyday life in our surroundings have been greatly changed, can still our memory be reconstructed? Through his paintings, a Taiwanese painter Li Mingze created the impressions of the environment near and around Yong'an. Besides, through his depiction of the areas, the spectators are inspired and their memories of the local places could have been reshaped. Li Mingze had been cycling between Tainan and Kaohsiung and painted what he saw and heard of those fantastic things in his work of Taiwan 17th Line. Through his environmental experiences of riding motorcycles, combining with own imagination in his real life, environmental images with his daily impressions become painted by artistic expressions. These paintings of the scenes along the road are neither directly recorded nor the entire pictures created by the explicit way of map making. Some pictures even show the misplacement of perception in a specific direction. From some aspects of the expressions of his works, these scenic spots were painted through the artist's own interpretation of the environment, which can be seen in the way the painting elements are scattered randomly around the field of the paintings, as if the memory is distorted. Through the appreciation of these works, the spectators could have been able to awaken profoundly in relation to collective memories of the places, and to recall people's self-connections with the virtual imaginations and their real life, as well as with the outdated objects and the daily encountering of their living surroundings. There are ways of inadvertently capturing environmental images by me, such as shooting at an intuitive moment in a corner, unnoticed space and time in my circumstance, etc. By such ways of taking photographs of the local places, Jeff Wall's methods are referred. Besides, in referring about memory, Jeff Wall always has some convincing ways to revive personal and collective memories, which appeared with amazing representation in his photographic works. My ways and methods are dissimilar to Jeff Wall's marvelous arrangements of memory reclaiming. However, strolling in my daily world with captured digital images printed on fabrics and tailored into one-piece dresses worn on the mannequins resembling human forms, which correspond to parallel meaning of the image of cultural environments and the appearance of residential life in the case of assuming that mannequins insinuate people together with clothing implying the local surroundings. Digital images are laid out in multiple viewpoints. I sometimes arrange them here and there without the traditional methods of fabric patterns that used to be intentionally full-frame repeated, but I deployed them according to personal intuition toward an individual pattern when necessary. Alternatively, I randomly repeated them. In this manner, multiple imaginations were created as if I had experienced a series of explorations and discoveries of revisiting those acquainted places. Through this re-exploration of my hometown, the images of the daily surroundings and the appearances of the residential life could be connected in way of multiple forms of arrangements and imaginations. By this way, a continuation of people's images of warm and intimate links could be collectively re-established. Cochino's selection and the application of these hibiscus flowers and the coconut trees connects the characteristics of the impression of the plants grow mainly in the southern circumstances. There are numerous growths in the south part of Taiwan due to meeting the climate conditions. Her operations of the full frame of the printed patterns retain a familiar layout of traditional prints as for a fashion design. Obviously, it is a technical convenience that use digital output overcomes the limitation of the color numbers of the traditional screen prints and win on the delicate performance of its resolution. The digital output connects the printing design of fashion clothing so that the photo-like textures can smoothly circulate in the fields of clothing materials. That is to say, the full screen arrangements of traditional printing coupled with the trendiness of digital printing forms a new trend in today's society. In association with heterogeneous images of the power plant, the scene images of the fishing port are manipulated onto the surface of the dresses, whilst the images of high-voltage electric towers can be associated with the romantic Paris Tower and become abrupt environmental icons. A group of oil tankers also turned into a new offshore landscape. Applying those images of my hometown on the dresses, I try to intertwine the past images of home with images of negative environmental impacts to convey and patch up memories of mine. Sarcastically, the new images of home with heterogeneous implantation has become a deep self-familiarity. Even though the surroundings of my hometown have been transformed, people in there are still friendly and kindly together. Memories of the body, memories of the land, memories of the environmental service, juxtapositions of the new and the old, dialogue of the plain images and the soft objects, monochrome and hue, conversations between the new and the old, juxtaposed nostalgia anxieties, and new longings. There are neither clear boundaries between objects and images, nor division between the real place and the virtual projection. When daily generalities turn to frozen pictures, are they truth or are they false? Under the loosey genius of the places, look at them as either stratified or integrated. Discontinuous memories, fragmented languages, expressing without qualitative principles, profoundly translated local knowledge and home memories. Through experimenting with the paging images, I explore the depiction of my own movement and lingering on the settlement at the edge of the city, in which a projection of one's own emotion is incubated. By using clothes to carry common replaceable images, and the mannequins' humanoid torsos to convey those recollected in material resemblance attached to clothes. The corner objects of daily life, people who are working, and the abruptly huge blocks of coastline scenery, as well as the built objects that merge into natural landscape with senses of strangeness and protrusion, etc. I try to scrap together the patchable impressions of my memory with the coastal images of Yong'an through digital transformations and by the song images, personal memories and home images could also be collaged